I need you to stop feeling fear about every retrograde that's coming up and every transit that can have quote unquote negative impacts. Mercury goes retrograde tomorrow, the 14th of March, and Venus is already in retrograde. And tomorrow is a lunar eclipse in Virgo, so it's the start of the eclipse season. If you know how to pull up your chart and check what house Venus is in terms of the retrograde, and do the same thing with Mercury. For me, both Venus and Mercury are retrograde in the 6th house. Seeing as Venus has already been in retrograde, I'm going to start there. This means that for me, this time period of Venus in retrograde is a great time for me to evaluate my self-care routines. What have I already been doing? Is it still working? And do I need to make any changes? I am currently awaiting surgery for a ruptured ACL on my left knee. So of course it makes sense that I have to change up my health and wellness routine. And it makes sense for the 6th house because the 6th house rules health, wellness, work, routines, pets. Am I missing something else? There's probably something, but just look up the wheel with the 12 houses and what each house means. So evaluating my skincare, is there anything that I can do there that will feed me and make me feel more love? What are my natural love languages? It's acts of service and it's words of affirmation would be my top 2. So I can evaluate and sit and watch myself and go, have I been speaking well of myself? And have I been feeding myself in that way? Have I been doing acts of service for myself? That's how you do self-care using the retrogrades. And then Mercury in the 6th house, just evaluating my communication with work, with colleagues, with clients, evaluating my routines about how and when and how often I work, double checking any contracts, taking my time to read any paperwork that relates to work, and that about covers it for Mercury. Now we're going to be heading into eclipse season, and that's a time that people tend to really stress out about. Now let's think realistically, how many eclipse seasons have you been through? You've been through one every year. The only people that need to worry are people that aren't self-aware, people that aren't even knowing that it's happening, because I try and use information that I learn from astrologers and from the spiritual community to help me decide how to plan. I have an earth moon, so I'm very much a planner. And so deciding on how to live each month, what things I should focus on, I really rely on the moon, the astrological transits, and all of these things to inform my decision making. And so learning about transits, retrogrades, when you're in one and when you're out of one, when, the transition from retrograde to a planet stationing direct, learning about these things should only empower you and shouldn't make you stress out. And can I pose the thought that there's no amount of stressing out that you can do that's going to stop Venus from retrograding, Mercury from retrograding? We just finished a Mars retrograde at the start of the year, and I think it started late last year. And that period of time, I was insanely irritable and angry, and my Mars is in Leo. And just knowing that that was going on made me have a lot more self-compassion and not feel like I'm going crazy, because I'm normally a very calm, cool, and collected person. If you have developed and cultivated self-trust, then you can get through